Hey guys, what's up? It's Mike. Here with a video. Tomorrow's New Comic Book Day, the 25th, and I'm gonna be doing a couple videos tonight, just so I'm not as backed up as I am already with all of these things. And I've been thinking about I'm going to be reviewing Amazing Spider-Man 678, as you can see. But I've been thinking about what I'm gonna say about it, and mostly because this issue was actually really, really good, like surprisingly, like awesome. No, it's just like it was just a lot better than I expected. All right, pretty sure anyone expected. Is by the creative team of Dan Slott, Humberto Ramos, um, Victor Olazaba, and Edgar Delgado, I believe. And um, and it takes place right after the whole weird Mark Waid team up, Daredevil Spidey team up that took 2 issues. The crossover. But you don't really actually have to read the crossover to read this. This will be a two-part arc or I guess mini arc storyline within the main Spider-Man before the whole the end of the world, end of the earth, whatever the new Doc Ock event, main Spider-Man event starts. So this issue starts off pretty basic. It's Peter Parker waking up, and Dan Slott, I feel his strength is. I'll address that later. Um, it's Peter Parker waking up, and he's living in his apartment. He's pretty well. Doing pretty well for as you know. If you guys have been reading Amazing Spider-Man, he has an amazing job at Horizon Labs doing what he loves to do, science. And it starts off with him waking up, leaving his building, and walking to work to South Street Seaport, where Horizon Labs is located. And along the way, he talks to a whole bunch of different people, interacting with New Yorkers. He helps a tourist find his way, and he gets back to Horizon Labs. So from there, he talks to some of his coworkers. My favorite coworker is Uatu Jackson. He's a little black kid, but Uatu, that's the name of the Watcher. So that's pretty entertaining. And you find out that Peter has double duty, which essentially is everyone who works at Horizon Labs has to pick a partner or like check one of the other workers' numbers to make sure their thing won't blow up and they won't, become a supervillain. So Peter's partner is Grady. He's a big hefty guy, sort of like I describe him as Hurley-ish from Hurley from Lost without the beard and like probably like 6 times as smart. Yeah, Grady Scraps. So we see Grady's current project, and it's a door to a break room. And Peter just comments that he's like, "This is a door, just a break room. What's it gonna have?" And Grady, says this isn't just any door. This is a door to the future. And he demonstrates it by going in through the door and bringing a newspaper back from the future. And it's not like 20 years in the future. It's 24 hours into the future. So one day. And then Peter reads a newspaper and he's like, "What is this shenanigans? Like you really managed to create a doorway into the future." So Peter steps through, and after he steps through, complete destruction of the of New York. Everything's destroyed, and you know Peter's like, "Don't come through. We don't know what's happened." And he looks around and he finds a watch that's frozen at 3:10, and he realizes, this is he's seen videos of pictures of these like watches frozen after like bombings and like destruction. So at 3:10, New York would be like leveled. So he goes back through the door and talks to Grady, and this is probably the best part. Grady explains how, like, not many comic books they talk about time travel and things like that. I think Dan Slott probably has done it the best out of any type of most writers that currently doing it. He explains, going to the future, or when Peter skipped ahead 24 hours, he didn't go to the future, he went to a future where he didn't exist for 24 hours. He essentially removed himself from the timeline for 24 hours and ended up, this is what would happen if you weren't here. And Peter's like, but you went through and everything stayed the same. And Grady's like, yeah, all I do is eat pizza, watch video games, and sleep. And Peter's like, and they're like, what's so special about you? And Peter's like, I'm friends with Spider-Man, so I guess I'm supposed to help him save the world. So they decide to, Peter decides to go tell Spider-Man, and Grady and him would use the future newspaper to sort of help whatever Spider-Man was supposed to do throughout the day. Peter sees that as he's leaving, he sees his boss, Max, and that watch, the watch he found, is Max's watch. It's one of a kind. So so Peter leaves work and gets dressed, and then Julia Carpenter, or Madam Web, comes up to him. She's in her normal, not in her Madam Web clothes, because her daughter's sick and she's taking care of her. And he's like, I have to go save people, and he's gonna go call the Avengers and the Fantastic Four, but Madam Web says no, you can't do that. He's like, bye. He's like, this is something Peter has to do on his own. That going and telling the Avengers or the Fantastic Four, it would alter their futures and might even cause a bigger butterfly effect for what happened, because they have their own destiny. They have stuff they have to do that day that's important to the future. And she says, she has, no one can leave the city. And Peter can't even tell his friends or family. And Julia's like, I'm not even leaving with my child, even though I know what's gonna happen, or the possibility, because I believe you can save us. So Peter swings off to the future, or he swings off into the city and starts talking to Grady, and starts fighting crime. He starts purge snatchers. He catches a car. He delivers a baby. He stops a supervillain. And then time is winding down, and he finds out and then you see that there's a parade that's supposed to be going on, and there's a bunch of I guess villains. Flag Smasher. I don't really know Flag Smasher. He's there, and he's set off a bomb, and Peter really doesn't know what's happening. And the issue ends with you see the clock at 3:10, and that's it. Now, this issue of Amazing Spider-Man probably is the best single issue from Marvel I've read all year, and it's only been a month. But like, out of all the Marvel books, best single issue so far. From Marvel. It just was unbelievable. Dan Slott, I feel, has a great grasp on how to write Peter, and he does. I feel he writes like it's not hard writing. I guess it's not. Peter and Spider-Man, they're pretty much the same guy, but he writes Peter as this down-to-earth sort of New Yorker who sees the best in everyone, and I think that's Dan Slott's best ability is writing Peter Parker, and I enjoy reading his Peter's interactions with everyone, or just Peter's day, which is pretty good, pretty amazing. I'm not saying that his Spider-Man's weak, his Spider-Man's pretty solid too. The story-wise, this is actually a really interesting take on things, especially with the time travel thing. There's like lots of movies and comics and TV shows. They talk about time travel, but if you notice, like for example in Back to the Future, is it 2 or 3? The one where they go to the future, where Marty McFly meets his kids. You see that even though he went to the future, he somehow still had kids, even though he wasn't in the past, which is really weird. No one really addresses that or talks about that. But in Dan Slott's, in this issue, they explain these. You didn't just jump to the future like randomly. You went to a future where you were not there for that day, and this is what happened when you weren't there, which is pretty unbelievable. I like the way he sort of like specified that you're not just going into the future and you have kids and you're gonna meet your wife and your future self, and if you see each other, the world blows up. No, you are pretty much removed from time, and are seeing a possible future because you were not there. Other than that, this is actually a really good, interesting take on it, and I love seeing the scramble, or the way he draws. He writes Spidey trying to, save the world, but at the same time, he can't call the big guns or any of his friends because if he fails, everyone's doomed, and it's just that's a lot of to be carrying on your shoulders. You have essentially in the book he had like about like 8 hours or so to he had a couple hours to go 6 hours something I don't remember, but to go and save the world, which is incredible. And I'm really looking forward to issue 679, which comes out next month, I believe. So story, excellent story. Artwork wise, Humberto Ramos does a good job. I like the way Humberto Ramos draws Peter, and the way he draws Spider-Man. They look very different. Like if you stand them next to each other, they they look extremely different. He draws Spider-Man sort of thin, frailish. His head isn't shaped the same as Peter's head. He draws him different, which is interesting. An interesting take. So to show that even though they talk the same and they tell the same jokes and stuff, they're sort of different people, Spider-Man and Peter Parker. Um, it's an interesting take to show the difference. So between them, lines are solid. Not much, nothing really to complain about. Edgar Delgado and Victor Olazaba do a great work on the colors and the inking and the so yeah, it's just a great issue, and especially the cover. I love the way the New York skyline is implemented into New York Destroyed, and it's like a newspaper, and Peter's grabbing at it. Yeah, so 678 was amazing. I'm gonna be giving it a 4.5 out of 5. This was a really great issue. What why isn't it perfect? It's the truth be told, it's not getting a perfect rating just because I feel there's a bit of a rush towards the end of it, especially since it's only gonna be a two-issue arc. I feel like Dan Slott's sort of like rushing rushing it. Especially in the action scenes. There's not much. I mean, it's like quick, fast paced, but the splash is a little confusing to follow, the way it's laid out. I mean, you eventually get it, but it's a little difficult. But other than that, yeah, it's a really great issue. I mean, it's a great starting on point if you want to read Amazing Spider-Man. You don't really need to read anything else. You just jump on here, and then there's gonna be a really epic event by and the artist gonna be I believe Giuseppe Camuncoli. No, Stefano Caselli is gonna be doing the End of the World arc, End of the Earth, whatever, which I'm really excited about. Which starts in March, I think. Yeah, March or April. But yeah, and then 4.5 out of 5. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna be having a bunch of other stuff posted. I don't know whenever I get time tonight. I'm maybe probably doing videos in between work for school and stuff. So thanks for watching. If you like my video, subscribe, watch my other stuff, leave a comment down there. I know the new YouTube layout's weird. And let me know what books you're planning to get tomorrow, guys. There's a couple stuff coming out. I think Fantastic Four and FF come out. I guess I'm gonna pick those up. I don't know. I don't know. I'll just go to the store and just pick whatever looks nice, I guess. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great week.